Every year, hope springs anew for every NFL team once the new season kicks off. After all, the NFL is a league of parity, and coming off an offseason where the deck was shuffled quite a bit, damn near every fan base is going into the season thinking that they have at least an outside chance at making a run to the Super Bowl. But of course, only one team can be crowned. But hey, it's nice to have something to believe in. Heck, better yet, something to tout against your friends who are fans of rival teams. So, without further ado, how about we take a look around the league and call out one reason why every team, your favorite included, could actually win the Super Bowl this year. Arizona Cardinals, the offense is ready. The Cardinals have been everybody's favorite rebuild in progress for 4 years running now? But hey, this year could actually be different. Arizona's young offense is starting to really take form. Kyler Murray should enter the season on a different level with more space between him and that ACL injury that took him out of action for chunks of the 2022 and 2023 seasons. Last year, Murray wasn't flashy, but hey, he was efficient and durable. The first time since 2020 that he answered the bell every week. 17 starts, he threw for 3,851 yards, 21 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. The steady baseline that this offense has been begging for. Marvin Harrison Jr.'s rookie season wasn't exactly perfect, but it was enough to show why he was the cleanest receiver prospect in years. He caught 62 passes for 885 yards and scored 8 touchdowns. If he can take a leap, coupled with Trey McBride, who's becoming a star tight end, Arizona could have enough firepower to compete with anyone. Atlanta Falcons, elite skill players. 2024 was a pretty big year for Atlanta, as the Kirk Cousins story closed in short order and opened the door for Michael Penix Jr. The rookie started 3 games and threw for 775 yards with 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Sure, those aren't world-beating numbers, but hey, they showed why Atlanta spent the 8th overall pick on him. He can push the ball vertically in a way that Cousins simply can't. The supporting cast is the real reason that this works, though. Drake London broke out with 100 receptions, 1,271 yards, and 9 touchdowns. Bijan Robinson added 1,456 yards on the ground and 9 total scores. That is a ready-made skill core that can support a deep playoff run. Baltimore Ravens, longtime contender, ready to get over the hump. The Ravens finished 12-5 last year and again fell short in the postseason. But hey, this team has the profile of a champion. A quarterback playing at an MVP level, a punishing run game to close out leads, and a top 5 defense that consistently forces mistakes. When you have the league's most dangerous quarterback and the running back nobody wants to tackle in January, well, you have a formula built for a Super Bowl. Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen. Buffalo's window was supposed to be closing after trading Stephon Diggs, but Josh Allen ripped it wide open. The 2024 MVP completed 307 passes for 3,731 yards through 28 touchdowns with only 6 interceptions, and added 531 rushing yards plus 12 more touchdowns on the ground. That is 40 total scores in a year when many thought the offense would regress. Coming off a year in which they set a franchise record for points, they are primed now for that next step. Carolina Panthers, Dave Canales is changing the culture. The Panthers were a mess defensively in 2024, giving up an NFL record 534 points. But Bryce Young showed some signs of life. In 14 games, he completed 234 passes for 2,403 yards, 15 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions under Canales' guidance. The young head coach preached a day-by-day approach. And hey, it seems to have worked. If Young takes the expected second-year leap, well, Carolina has a real shot to steal an NFC South that is wide open. Chicago Bears, Ben Johnson, plus Caleb Williams. The biggest win of the offseason was luring Ben Johnson away from Detroit to run the show. If you saw what he did with Jared Goff in the Motor City, well, you should be feeling pretty good about his chances in the Windy City, scheming opportunities for his talented young quarterback, who has plenty of weapons at his disposal. You know, guys like DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, and now Colston Loveland. Cincinnati Bengals added just enough defensive reinforcements. The Bengals missed the playoffs at 9-8, but their stars were unstoppable. Joe Burrow led the NFL with 4,918 passing yards and threw 43 touchdowns with just 9 interceptions. Jamar Chase pulled off the Triple Crown, pacing the league with 127 catches, 1,708 yards, and 17 touchdowns. That's the kind of quarterback-wideout tandem that can drag a team through January, no matter the opponent. Now they just need to get there, and the improvements on the defensive unit should be able to get them there. Cleveland Browns, Myles Garrett isn't going anywhere. Cleveland cratered to 3-14 in 2024, but Myles Garrett still produced 13 sacks and 21 quarterback hits while commanding double teams on every snap. This one is a bit of a long shot, but if he has the season of his life, maybe Cleveland pulls it off. Dallas Cowboys, the NFL wants America's team back on top. There's no denying it. The league is always better and always louder when the Cowboys are in the mix. The NFL knows it, and though the franchise is still chaotic as it gets, it'll have every advantage to make a run so that the NFL can capitalize on the ratings bonanza. Denver Broncos, Sean Payton, and Bo Nix, year 2. And forget the rebuild. Denver's future looks dialed in. Bo Nix started all 17 games as a rookie and completed 376 of 567 passes for 3,775 yards, 29 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions, earning a 93.3 passer rating. In year 2, Payton will open up the playbook, and the Broncos will have the defense to complement what they do on offense. Detroit Lions, Dan Campbell has something to prove. 2025 feels like Dan Campbell's year of truth. They are no longer the scrappy underdog. And they're coming off an offseason in which they lost both coordinators. Nevertheless, they still need to find a way to get it done. And that chip on their shoulder might be the exact fuel that this team needs in order to break through. Green Bay Packers, Jordan Love's leap. Last year was tough for Love. The man battled injuries all season long. But hey, the Packers are young, confident, and quite frankly, ahead of schedule. If Love bounces back from last year, then Green Bay could be right back in the Super Bowl conversation way sooner than anyone expected. Houston Texans, elite defense. The defense, led by second-year star Will Anderson Jr., finished top 10 in sacks last year and covered a number of holes on the roster. With the roster around CJ Stroud getting stronger, Houston isn't a feel-good story anymore. Oh no, they're a legitimate Super Bowl threat. Indianapolis Colts, Jim Irsay. This is not just another offseason. This is Jim Irsay's legacy year. The man who owned the Colts since 1997 passed away in May 2025, and the organization has vowed to honor him with every snap. Heck, they even added a jersey patch to commemorate him for the season. This is just about the only season that we have for a team that is going to trot out Daniel Jones as QB1 to start the season. Jacksonville Jaguars, Liam Cohen. Cohen's track record kind of speaks for itself. In the last couple of years with the Buccaneers, he helped Baker Mayfield resurrect his career, which is exactly the kind of turnaround that Jacksonville is banking on for Lawrence. Trevor has all the talent in the world. He just needs a coach that can put him in a position to succeed. Kansas City Chiefs, revenge tour. All right, let's face it, the Chiefs were embarrassed on the sport's biggest stage last year, but they still have Mahomes, Kelsey, and Reed. And now a whole new level of motivation. Rest of the NFL should be on high alert. Las Vegas Raiders, Pete Carroll culture change. Pete Carroll has arrived, and this is not just about X's and O's. Carroll walked in carrying his high-octane energy, a championship mindset, and the leadership blueprint that the Raiders have lacked for years. Plus, he has a veteran quarterback at the ready in Geno Smith, who he has history with. It's a franchise reboot in motion. If Carroll's leadership translates to buy-in, well, the Raiders could go from punchlines to dark horse playoff spoilers faster than anyone would have expected. Los Angeles Chargers, Jim Harbaugh is a winner. 1 year under Jim Harbaugh produced a clean, winning season, and a bit of a breath of fresh air for a talented team that was sick and tired of Brandon Staley. If Justin Herbert can provide a modest explosive play bump on top of this, well, Harbaugh's formula is exactly the kind that can get you 3 big wins in January. Los Angeles Rams, elite wide receivers. Hey, forget reinvention. The Rams are doubling down on what already works, and it all comes down to playmakers. On top of Puka Nacua, they were able to bring back Devontae Adams, which should give Matthew Stafford more than enough firepower in order to make another run. Miami Dolphins, speed kills. Look, simply put, this offense is a track meet in shoulder pads. Mike McDaniel's system is built to stress every blade of grass, and when it clicks, man, nobody can keep up. All they need is for their core of Tua, Tyreek, and Jalen Waddle to stay healthy and engaged. Then they'll have as good a shot as anyone. Minnesota Vikings, quarterback whisperer. Kevin O'Connell is as good as it gets when it comes to maximizing quarterback players. And hey, the Vikings already have a deep roster. If O'Connell can work the same magic on JJ McCarthy that he did with Kirk Cousins and Sam Darnold, well, these Vikings will be real dangerous. New England Patriots, Vrabel's time in Foxborough. The Patriots didn't just hire a coach. No, they brought back one of their own. Mike Vrabel returned to Foxborough in 2025 to take over and instill his reputation. One that's built on toughness, accountability, and a deep connection to the Patriot way that he once embodied as a 3-time Super Bowl champion in New England. If he can replicate the changes that he made in Tennessee, well, the Pats could be a contender again in no time. New Orleans Saints, a defense that still punches above its weight. The Saints may have stumbled to 7-10 in 2024 and have everyone and their mother picking them to be at the top of the draft this year based on their quarterback situation. But their defense still has some bite to it. Cameron Jordan keeps anchoring the line. Demario Davis is still the heartbeat at linebacker. And Justin Reed headlines a secondary with his ability to lock down a big chunk of the field when healthy. New York Giants, Brian Daboll coaching for his job. Make no mistake about it, Brian Daboll is currently coaching for his job. After a regression in 2023 and a lost year in 2024, another stumble could have ownership hitting reset. That urgency is the reason New York still has a puncher's chance. Because desperate coaches empty the playbook, and Daboll knows that this is his last shot to prove that he can win in New York. Better yet, he actually has the coaching chops to do it. He just has to figure out how to make it work with the questionable roster that the front office has built. New York Jets, young stars on both sides. New York can finally put the Aaron Rodgers chaos behind them. And heading into 2025, the Jets defense alone gives them a shot. They finished top 5 in yards allowed and sacks in 2024, with Sauce Gardner continuing to lock down one side of the field and Quinnen Williams wrecking the interior. Offensively, there are a few teams that can contain the combination of Garrett Wilson catching passes downfield and Breece Hall coming out of the backfield. They can find the right balance of throwing and running with Justin Fields. The Jets will be dangerous. Philadelphia Eagles, best team, defending champs. I mean, come on, the Eagles don't really need a sales pitch here. They are the reigning Super Bowl champions, and after smashing Kansas City 40-22 in the Super Bowl, there is very little reason to doubt that they can win it again until proven otherwise. They have all the talent and continuity that they need to get it done. Bet against them at your own risk. Pittsburgh Steelers, Aaron Rodgers' last stand. Aaron Rodgers is a Steeler. After the Jets' 2024 meltdown, Pittsburgh swung for the fences, acquiring Rodgers to stabilize a team that went 10-7 behind a defense that kept the team in games in spite of their offense. This is likely his last ride, but if Rodgers can summon one more efficient season, protecting the football, moving the chains, and letting the defense do its thing, well, then Pittsburgh suddenly has the veteran quarterback presence to complement a championship caliber defense. San Francisco 49ers, CMC is back. The 49ers' 2024 collapse coincided with losing their best player. Christian McCaffrey missed the back half of the season with a knee injury, and San Francisco slid to 6-11, missing the playoffs for the first time since 2020. This entire team hums differently when McCaffrey is on the field. His return in 2025 isn't just important, it is the difference between being a fringe team and being a legitimate Super Bowl contender again. Seattle Seahawks, defensive revival. Mike McDonald is leading a defensive revival in the Pacific Northwest. This isn't the Legion of Boom, but the blueprint is very familiar. A punishing run game, an explosive game manager at quarterback, and a defense designed to frustrate quarterbacks. In a conference where the supposed Giants look vulnerable, Seattle has the right mix of youth, talent, and energy to emerge as the team that no one saw coming. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baker's revenge. Baker Mayfield has completely rewritten his story down in South Florida. The former #1 overall pick has been counted out a dozen times, but if he keeps playing efficient, confident football, the Bucs have the formula to upset anyone in January, especially with the weapons that they've put around him and Todd Bowles pulling the strings for that defense. Tennessee Titans, rookie QB contract. The Titans are going to be a serious long shot, but if they can catch fire with a rookie quarterback under center in Cam Ward, they have a chance, as his relatively light price tag creates a degree of flexibility for the rest of their roster building efforts. Washington Commanders, Jaden Daniels. Every once in a while, a franchise lucks into a player that changes absolutely everything, and that is exactly what Washington has with Jaden. The team is feeding off his personality, and his play has made them a threat in every game, regardless of the score. So with Daniels in the fold, they always have a chance to win. But hey, what do you think about your favorite team's chances to win the Super Bowl this year? Who do you think we're right on? Who do you think we're wrong about? Was there anyone that we may have missed? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, then hey, clicking the like button helps us out a ton. And you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.